Welcome back to the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. There's the sign. Yes, we have the sign. The first week we have the sign, and the first week we have a special guest on the show here. So I'm Mike Witzak.
Rory Farrell.
And
Tom Hendel.
Hey,
Tom Hendel of
Keller Williams Bluebell.
All right, there you go. But yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming. You've been, dare I say, you've been a fan from the get-go.
Huge fan of the podcast. As soon as I saw your track commercial, I was like, these guys are going places. So
Yeah, that brought a lot of people in.
Yeah, the huge viral.
I needed to be a part of this.
That's awesome.
Consequently, also a big beer guy.
Big beer guy. I would say about 3 years ago, my brother-in-law introduced me to IPAs and the craft beers. Before that, I had no idea about these kind of drinks. And
so there's hope for Mike, who only drinks Corona.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got on the team, 3 years ago? So I'm in the same boat almost.
You're working your way up.
I'm working my way.
Yeah, you absolutely have to expand your beers a little bit.
All right. So what are we? I think you brought the beer this time, Tom.
Yeah.
So
pull it out now.
he's expanding my palate today, and Rory's possibly. I don't know. We'll
And
see.
you're a big Glenside guy too, right?
Yeah. I'm from Glenside, so I wanted to support one of the breweries
Born
there.
and raised?
Born and raised in Glenside. So we're going to go with the Bill's Best Brewery. There's a lot of other good breweries in the area in Glenside, like the Waze is great, Human Robot in Jenkintown. So lot of great breweries, but I was in Bill's Best, so I picked it up.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, we've done a Waze before. We did, I think it was Little Bigfoot, like one of the first episodes. And then Human Robot, I don't think we've done before.
We've been to Human.
Me and Mike have been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's nice that they have a location there instead of going to their original in Kensington gets a little dicey sometimes.
Yeah. No, I highly recommend their lagers if you haven't had them.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Their IPAs are good as well.
Yeah, no.
And the space is beautiful.
Actually, you know what? I have one in my bag also.
Oh, there you go.
I love
Human
dreams.
Robot. We'll probably stick with the Bill's Best.
There you go.
Cool. Perfect.
So we have Bill's
what do you got?
Best,
You get
One
Bill's
Track
Best.
Mind.
Yeah, One Track Mind. I never had this one. It's like a Citra kind of hazy IPA. You know more about this than me.
Yeah, no, it was funny because Citra and Mosaic are my two favorite hops and beers. And the one time I said, "Oh, Mosaic's my favorite hop," Mike goes, "You have a favorite hop? Like what? Like I was some sort of psycho." But Citra was traditionally one of my favorites. It's easy to brew with, and it's just got a really nice, obviously citrusy, kind of very limey, lemony, kind of West Coast style.
There you go, Tom.
Flavor.
That is a way better description than I was going to give.
Where are we at ABV wise? Generally,
I think this is like 6 something.
Okay, cool.
But I was laughing at your guys' other video when I saw Mike pour in the nitro beer.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to correct him on how to pour it. I had no idea. I learned something new that day.
Yeah,
so
There you
it's
go.
Educational as well.
I don't know if you stuck around to the end of that video or not, but you may have watched me totally miss his cup too, his glass.
Spilled all of it.
I did see that.
Yeah,
actually.
and this is 6%, so 6%.
Okay,
ABV.
6%.
All right, so cheers,
Thank
guys.
you very much for coming.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
for
you
coming.
for
First
having me.
Outside guest.
Yes.
It smells great. It does. To me, it's a little West Coasty and hazy. It's got definitely that bitter West Coast style on the front end, and then it smells really nice, and it's got that haze to a New England or a hazy.
Yeah, I
IPA.
definitely like it. When I went to get it, I was trying to do a little research for the podcast.
Yeah, yep.
And I got a flight, to try a couple different kinds, and I didn't read the board that they only had 4 packs in one of them. So
here we are today.
I tried them all,
Well,
did the research, but I
Thank
only
you for
had
bringing
one
it.
option.
Thank you, Bill's Best, and go check them out in Glenside.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool space and
great people.
local spot. So cool.
Awesome. Very cool. So I guess instead of the industry stuff this week, we'll kind of talk more about you, Tom, and just how you got started in the business, where you came from, what made you get into real estate, things like that. So
And why did you move back to Pennsylvania from Key West? Because that seems like a terrible decision from the start. So let's hear about where it originated from.
Okay, so I was living in Key West. I'm originally from Glenside. I moved down there with one of my best friends, and I was there many, many years and living that life. I worked on a scuba diving boat, did a lot of diving, did jet ski tours for a while.
Yep.
But then towards the end of my time there, that's when I got into timeshare. And I realized sales is definitely a job that I like.
Okay, cool.
But I also realized that, timeshare, that wasn't the kind of sales that I was trying to do.
Fair enough.
So I started to really think about real estate because both my parents were realtors for 30 plus years, and a couple of my uncles too. So it's a family business.
Yeah.
So I
Who
actually
we've also worked with at Marathon Mortgage. That's how we got introduced to you. I
Yes,
think.
my parents told me as soon as I got into real estate, Marathon Mortgage is the best.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I didn't look back.
Cool. Well, thank you. Shout out to them.
Yeah, exactly. But sorry, what were we talking about?
Just Key West, how you got started, and why you got into real estate.
So my last couple of months down in Key West, I actually started sitting in on real estate Zooms with like 200 agents because I wanted to see if the business truly was for me.
Yeah.
And it just felt perfect. So that's when me and my now wife decided, let's be closer to family.
So she was down there as well?
Yeah, she's from Lithuania though.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's a big move for her, and so we want to be around family and start a family, and we have a 7-month-old.
Congrats, yeah,
7-month-old baby, and so it's different lifestyle, no scuba diving, but better breweries up here.
Yeah,
for sure.
there you go.
Life's good.
Very cool.
Very awesome.
Yeah, one thing that always interests me about realtors, but people in our industry in general, is like you very rarely find someone in our industry who like straight out of college or straight out of high school gets into it. So I feel like the best realtors, mortgage brokers, they really pull skills and experiences from their previous jobs. And I was very similar to you. I moved to California for 10 years. I worked in service related industries, bars, restaurants, sales for a brewery. And I feel like a lot of that stuff really kind of translates well to what we do now. And obviously it takes time to build the skill set in our particular industries, but you just have such a leg up when you have that sales and customer service background from other industries. So.
I agree, definitely.
Yeah, especially tourists who always want everything perfectly all the time because they're on vacation.
Absolutely.
I imagine that's probably how you run into a lot of your current clients.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're always good people. So
yeah.
And although I'm one of those guys that got into it out of college, all the jobs that I worked before this were very customer service based. So they weren't as high intensity as this, but they were customer service based at least. So
yeah, for sure. At the end of the day, these industries are people first. It's like or they should be. They definitely can.
They should be
the other way around, but they should be. People first.
That's what I love about real estate is number one, I get to be my own boss, so I set my hours and I can work as long as I want for my clients. But it's just I like making sure my clients' real estate goals are my goals and just do whatever it takes to get them where they need to be.
For sure.
With a new baby, being able to make your schedule is probably helpful.
It's kind of
maybe not all the time, but
juggling life and a baby. It's just like anybody else. But yes, it does help not clocking in when I don't want to. But in this market, you're working 24/7 to make things happen. So
absolutely, yeah.
But luckily, my wife works from home also, so
that's helpful.
I have an office in my home, so I don't have to go into the office if I don't want to. So it's working out. But the baby will be in daycare, in a couple of months.
There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
We'll see.
Right.
You'll have too much time. You won't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think, to touch on the point too, though, that he said about putting your clients first and making sure that they're always taken care of. I think that's what separates you from a lot of other realtors as well, because, you're a successful realtor and you do very well. And I think that's why you do well is because you take these people's goals and you put them first. And that's why you're able to do well in a market like today's market, where it's very tough to get people's offers accepted and you're constantly out there putting in work for them. So it's awesome to see. I think we do the same thing for our clients. And
yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And when I did get into real estate, my mom and dad did tell me, they said, I recommend that you treat every single client like you're doing a deal with your family.
Yeah.
And I took it to heart, and that's exactly what I do.
And it shows.
Every client's my family member, and I do whatever they need.
Yeah, that's awesome. For sure. So, and what did you want to say? Sorry.
I would say, how often are your parents still in it? Do you still collaborate with them? Do you ask them for advice? Because
they're happily retired for the last 7 years.
They probably are a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm always calling them and, getting their opinions on stuff, because at the end of the day, they have so much knowledge for doing it for that long. I'd be crazy not to be calling them and asking them advice and, just...
Similar story. You've worked with Dan Strockbeiner in our office, who just retired. He's my father, and still to this day, he's been retired for a couple of months at this point. And I'll call him up and be like, hey, what about that thing that you ran into a couple months ago? Still to this day, I'll call him up and ask him for advice. And, it's, with Father's Day just passing, I think it's important to note that, the way that you're raised also kind of leads the way that you handle clients in this industry too. So shout out to all the great dads and the great moms.
Amen.
Thank you, Dad.
Raise us the right way and to treat people the right way and to
Absolutely. No, we'd be doing a disservice to our clients if we weren't, going to our parents that have all that knowledge. And
if you would have asked me probably 10 years ago, whatever it was, if I would have been doing the same thing my dad was doing, I would have been like, what does my dad do?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's funny how we inadvertently follow in those footsteps.
Absolutely. So. I was on a scuba diving boat 10 years ago, so I was not thinking about real estate.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So funny. So what do you like about the industry? What are you finding that is like your favorite part of it, or like what's the most difficult part? Like,
well, the most difficult part is, just it's been a tough market the last couple of years. It's great. It's the best selling market ever, but a lot of times when you're working with buyers, it takes a lot of work to get them that home and have their offer stand out. And, but when you do land them a home and they're at settlement, it's just the greatest feeling in the world. So, that's probably the most difficult thing is just in navigating this market with the low inventory.
Yeah, Mike and I mean, Mike, you can speak for yourself, but a lot of my clients are first-time home buyers or, green to the process. And oftentimes it takes a lot longer to get them to the settlement table, but those are the ones where you like take that deep breath at the end, you just see the smile on their face. You're like, whew, that was worth it, and hey, guess what? You got a client for life because they went, you took that journey with them and they realized the ups and downs and how hard it was. Podcast, faux pod. Look at this guy.
Oh, right. I'll call him back.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That was just an offer being accepted.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of your a lot of your clients are first-time home buyers as well, and like young in that process. So it feels good to be able to help those people. It's like an extra nice.
Absolutely,
feeling.
Great feeling, and they'll never forget it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've said that a billion times on this podcast. It's like my favorite thing. It's when you go to closing table and it's first-time buyers and they've got their first house.
Hands shaking from side in.
Like, what's next?
Not because they're nervous, because they just signed 400 pages and they're like hurting. Yeah, but no, it's such a great feeling, getting them their first home, and I'm sure it's the same way from a realtor perspective too. Because
absolutely,
I mean, we're not on the ground floor really, I per se. When you're out showing them the homes and you're going through multiple homes with them and you're figuring out which ones they like, and I feel like when you're in that house with them and their eyes light up and they're like, oh, this is the house. And then you put an offer and you get it accepted and then you go to close. Like going through that whole process next to them must be like a totally different feeling, which is, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster sometimes. So sometimes you're a little bit of a psychiatrist. And,
True.
But
very true.
You got to just keep them motivated. That's what I tell people in this market. Like you got to stay motivated. Keep putting in offers. Sometimes I've had first-time home buyers get their first offer accepted on their first showing.
Whoa.
And then other ones, sometimes it takes 4 or 5 offers and 10 showings, but the people that stay motivated and keep putting in strong offers, they're getting homes every day. So, that is the part where you got to keep them motivated.
That's what it really comes down to. Are you going to continue to put offers in and find houses, or you're going to take a break for a little bit and figure out what happens. So
I always feel the right house comes along for the right person too. I mean, just personally, I had so many houses that we had made offers on when we were buying our primary home that we look back, we're like, whoa, I'm so glad we didn't get that house. And now the house that we got inadvertently was one that we didn't even think we were going to like based on the pictures we went and saw, and we're like, this is pretty cool. And then next thing you know, we moved in, made it our own. Our neighborhood's awesome, and we got lucky on that one. And I hear that story from buyers all the time. Like, man, I'm so glad we didn't get that one.
Oh, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And I tell that to all my buyers when they don't get an offer accepted. And then just exactly what you said. Yep. A month later, they're like, thank God I didn't get that one home because this is so much better. Yeah. So,
awesome.
That's all it takes.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to touch on anything else? Or do you want to do wins for the week?
I think it's a good time for the wins.
All right.
One thing, I mean, you watch, but one thing that we do at the end is we just kind of like focus on what was a win that we had this week or recently, because I think it's important, especially in a tough market, to like really remember we get some wins every once in a while as well. So we can start with you if you want.
Okay. Definitely.
Not to put you on the spot.
That's fine. It's been a good week for me business-wise. Yeah. I actually got 3 of my buyers' offers accepted this week.
That is awesome.
All with Marathon Mortgage, of course.
Hey,
even better. Yeah, hey, that's my win.
There you go. Yeah.
But, some of them I've been working with a little bit. and all 3 of them are just so happy about the homes that they're getting.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's been a very big win for me.
Cool.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
That's a great win. Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. Don't look at me. I'm not ready yet. You go. I have to think. Give me a minute.
Well, I got to throw my dad / ex coworker a retirement party this weekend, which he fully deserved. He worked as hard as anyone ever has in this office and in the industry. He's here on nights and weekends, and
I mean, Dan was dedicated.
Yeah,
Dude, dedicated.
You're calling at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. He's here. So
I mean,
it was cool to be able to surprise him with that and have coworkers and friends and family come through and just thank him for the years and years of service with Marathon Mortgage, and also because he's my dad and he did bring me into this business. It was kind of like this 2-layered celebration, and I was very grateful for that. So it was kind of a personal win, but also a business win because he was part of this family, this Marathon Mortgage family, as opposed to just our family as well. But so Dan Strockbine. Happy retirement. Hope
shout out Dan.
Right now.
Which brewery was it at?
10-7 in North Wales.
Okay, I haven't even heard of that.
It's his favorite one. He
Okay.
loves it. It's like 10 minutes from his house, 5 minutes from his house. And if you're ever looking for an event space, they were awesome. The space was beautiful. So beers were great, service was great.
I got a new brewery.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, check it out. It's probably 10-15 minutes from where you live. So
Shout out Dan Strockbine. Shout out 10-7.
Yeah.
I guess my win for the week would be this weekend. I was helping a client / friend of mine. I went to school with this kid for my whole life, just with like fees breakdowns and stuff. And one thing they said to me that I thought was very nice and it meant a lot to me was he's like, he's been first off, he's been extremely appreciative the whole time of just me helping him out. But he's like, dude, you've been Johnny on the spot. No joke. He's like, I text you and he's 5 minutes later, I'm getting a phone call explaining everything. He's like, I can't thank you enough for doing all this because he's like, I have so many questions throughout this whole thing, and you've been really, really helpful. So I think that was just a super nice compliment. It was nice to hear that, and it's always great when a client can, be very appreciative and thankful for that. So, and I always try my best to do that. So when somebody pointed it out, it was nice to hear. I guess that would be my win, I guess. So
that's awesome.
Nice.
There you go.
Not surprised.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So try our best.
So anything else you want to add? I mean, we'll tag you and we'll put your contact information in, but anything else you want to
No, I just thank you guys so much for having me on my first podcast.
Thank you for the beers.
Yeah. I know probably the next step is Joe Rogan, maybe.
That's next. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's been a pleasure. You guys are great, and thank you for the service that you give my clients.
Of course,
and
happy to do it.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got it, Tom. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, perfect.
All right, everybody. Happy Friday. Have a
Happy
good
Friday,
weekend.
everybody.
Enjoy the weather, and
See you in the next
week.
one. Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.